or a ward with such disability. You know that it's a moment of creating awareness about this particular condition. So today is World Cerebral Palsy Day. Away from what day today is, let me tell you what the word for today is in helping you improve your English language writing and speaking. Hey.
Today's word is spelled RAISON_E with an accent TRE. Raison d'etre is of French origin. Raison d'etre is the most important reason for which someone or something lives. Let's exemplify it. At EIB Network, our raison d'etre is excellence in broadcasting. Raison d'etre.
Okay, so that's our word for you for this morning. Know that every morning here on the show, like I always tell you, we help you write better English and, of course, speak better English. Let me pump you up. I know that you're reeling from whatever you did over the weekend, the enjoyment, the rest, and so you're struggling to get out of bed to go out there and earn your keep. Well, let me pump you up as you try to do that. We're trying to uplift your spirits as you go out there and earn your keep. I know a lot of you are struggling to get out of bed. A lot of you are also returning from wherever you went to. That one is between you and your God. It's not time for Inside Out. On Inside Out this morning, we have a mixed bag. We'll talk about President Mohammed's meeting with CSOs. That much talked about meeting finally came up on Friday. President Mohammed met a number of them, even religious leaders were there. A lot of people at some point said these persons were engaged in praise singing. Whether or not they engaged in praise singing, at least they were there. They made their voices known. They were heard. Some of them were also very bold, like Franklin Kujo, like Engineer Kanashigwe. They were very bold. They told President Mahama in the face. President Mahama said, well, keep on putting us to the test. Keep on putting fire under our feet. We are sure of victory, but I cannot do this by myself. I need everybody on board. However, a declaration of a state of emergency is not on the table. Let us exhaust all means. Then we can say that all these things have failed, like the previous administration did. Wishing Halts, Galam Stop, the IMCIM, and every other means. Then there were calls for declaration of state of emergency. Of course, it was not declared then under the previous administration. President Mohammed says, well, we're still new. We have a few things on the table that we're jojoing. That is why I've equally invited you. So let's come together. Let's think holistically. How do we tackle this? And now there was the issue of the dechemicalization. That's also, I'm sure you've all seen the whole brouhaha on social media and on traditional media about whether or not that is the right word, whether or not we need a dechemicalization, and what will it cost us if we have to dechemicalize our water bodies. And now we'll talk about the famous DDP, those who had the Dadianoma, those who had the clean shave, those who had the bald look. All of you, I'm sure, I don't want to remind you of your pain that you went through in the debt restructuring, where a lot of you lost your savings, especially older generation. People had cause to go on the streets and protest. Well, President Akufo-Addo has come out to admit that it was one of the darkest moments of his presidency. For you as a person who lost your money under that regime within that particular activity, do you forgive President Akufo-Addo? Is this something you think you can ever forgive him? Well, he says, I am admitting it, I was wrong. But why didn't President Akufo-Addo at the time change his finance minister? Could that have saved the day? And then Gabia Sayatredako has also been speaking about the NPP's defeat and why people should stop going about apologizing. Then it's an admission that we failed Ghanaians. But a casual look will tell you, even from polls and analysis and governance scripts will tell you that indeed, under the second administration of President Akufo-Addo, there was some sort of failure. But we'll talk about all this. My producer is here. But let me tell you how the engagement with the civil society organizations with President Mohammed went.
In recent months, several CSOs, professional and faith-based groups, political actors, and activists have pushed for decisive state action, the declaration of a state of emergency in illegal mining hotspots in the country. They have been relentless, warning that failure to act could permanently damage water resources and threaten rural livelihoods. President Mahama, who has vowed to intensify the Galamsey fight, relived his earlier stance in the quote, the wheels of justice grind slowly, believing that government's efforts so far are yielding results. He, however, is not opposed to the move if guided by the National Security Council.
As at now, this moment, the National Security Council believes that we can win the fight against Galamsey without a state of emergency. I want to assure you that the day they advise me otherwise, that, boss, now we need a state of emergency, I will not hesitate in declaring a state of emergency.
Despite the incessant calls for the declaration of a state of emergency, executive member of the Center for Democratic Development, Colonel Festus Abuaji, retired, says such a move at this stage would be premature and could expose the country to serious political, socio-economic and security risks.
Within this framework, I would wish to borrow from the strategic thought of the Chinese General Sun Tzu that the best general is the one who wins a war without firing any shot. Our position as CDT is that at this material time, it is a bit premature to declare a state of emergency because it entails political, socio-economic and other security risks.
On the government's fight, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa revealed that 250 small-scale mining licenses are set to be revoked after a successful review of leases granted since 2017.
We initially came out with 907 licenses that had problems. But we didn't want to simply revoke the licenses. We gave opportunity to the small-scale miners to come in and show what they have. We've done the complete due diligence, and let me thank the chairman of the review, my able deputy minister, for this effort. I can tell you that the review is almost closed. At least, I'm sure, by next week when we announce it, at least 250 licenses will be revoked.
The Catholic Bishops' Conference called on President John Dramani Mahama to demonstrate decisive leadership in the fight against illegal mining by prosecuting high-profile individuals involved in the practice. This was after the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayene, gave an update on prosecuting the MPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Entry Boisiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, for his alleged involvement in illegal mining.
When we came to power and I started the investigation with the the Lands and Natural Resources Minister and the Forestry Commission, we were finding it difficult to get information. Subsequently, the police themselves owned up and presented the docket to my office 2 months ago. So as we speak, the charges against Chairman Wontumi, Akonta Mining, and 5 others have been signed as I speak. Currently, we are waiting for him to be read his right to remain silent, etc. Before we've asked that he should be brought from, Kumasi. His lawyers asked that he should be brought on Tuesday, but I'm insisting that he should be here on Monday. If he doesn't come on Monday, I'm going to order for his arrest.
Taking his turn at the microphone, convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Dr. Engineer Ken Ashigbe, argued that the elephant in the room was not addressed. He demanded an update on Iyoko's investigations into the alleged involvement of NDC officials in Galamsey.
We believe that there's some political will that you've demonstrated. The minister is working. But the elephant in the room was not mentioned. You heard the Attorney General talk only about Akonta Mine. The Attorney General has referred some politically exposed persons to the Iyoko. We've not heard anything about that. There are some politically exposed persons that we, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, have petitioned you about. We've not heard anything about that. There are some chiefs that are complicit in it.
According to the AG, he's yet to receive the investigative report on the matter.
When we did the referral, it was upon intelligence that we got that was sent to both myself and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. But after we did, some petitions came from small-scale miners to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, then complicating the investigations. And so, as we speak, an investigative report is yet to be made to my office because those small-scale miners also brought their petitions that had allegations against the 2 persons who were referred.
Director of Operations at the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, Colonel Dominic Boa, has vowed zero tolerance for illegal miners as it intensifies operations across the country. there will be no room for them to escape or to hide. NIMOS will smoke them out very soon, he said.
I would like to send this warning to illegal miners, their assigns and financiers, that they are the first or prime enemies of the state, and they will be dealt with as such. There will be no room for them to escape or to hide. NIMOS will smoke them out very soon. There's no resting place for them.
President Mohammed has assured the nation that he has no personal interest in Galamsey and that his government's campaign will continue until meaningful progress is achieved. The president is expected to review proposals shared at the dialogue and take further action.
Okay, so that was the interaction between President Mahama and the CSOs over the weekend, and a lot of them were very bold and asked for answers. A number of them too went about praise singing. It's normal. I mean, even within the media fraternity, when the president met the media fraternity, some of them went about praise singing. But you know, for us as EIB, we do not do praise singing. So we went asking the critical questions. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Limo. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, ma, how's your weekend?
It was quite restful. Okay. I had a few here and there to attend. Yeah, okay. It's typical of adults.
Of a weekend, the weekend as well. Yes.
Good
to know you had a rest. You need it. Same, restful. I didn't move around so much. So restful, yes.
Good. Let's talk about the engagement with the CSOs. I've seen a few articles on social media about government being bold, that this is timely. Yeah. However, Ghanaians are unable to see the clear roadmap as to where government is going. That is why Ghanaians keep asking for a state of emergency. President Mahama says, at this point, it is not on the table. Yeah. And I loved what the man in charge of NIMOS said.
Yes.
I mean, he was very bold. Just that he doesn't have a bold face. He has a very sweet face. How will that scare the illegal man?
He has a bold soul.
He's too handsome to be fighting illegal mining.
You see, maybe that's why it will require. Okay. Maybe the machoism has no help. So when they see his face, they will say, okay, you know what, because of how handsome you look, we are stopping. But that's just by the way. But of course, he spoke very well. He spoke boldly, right? But we've been here before.
Exactly.
Where we deployed the boots on the ground, right?
How many times haven't we had boots on the ground? And how many times haven't we failed?
That's the question. So it's good that he's addressing the Galamseyers directly. I also didn't know that over 500 excavators had been seized. And I'm sure that's how come many people who went there very armed were disarmed when this information was made known to them. So I had the DGA president, for instance, relate to the fact that there were many things that he was hearing for the first time during the engagement. The Catholic bishops, even though they went ahead to present whatever message that they had, they also admitted that they are now, then, of course, after the engagement, privy to many things that they did not know. So that's what many have captioned as praise singing. But I'm not sure wholeheartedly many people went there to just sing the president's praises. Because Galamsey is still rife out there. Now, the president made a declaration that I found quite interesting. That he had no personal interest in Galamsey. Right. So what that means is that he has nobody to shield. Right. What that means is that if NIMOS is cracking the whip, if the sector minister is cracking the whip, nobody can call on the president to intervene. That's a bold declaration. Right. But then we have to then walk the talk.
Exactly.
You talked about timelines. On my own, giving this government up to the end of this year to at least ensure that the water bodies are clean. That shouldn't take too much. You know, the water is capable of cleaning itself.
Do you think the dechemicalization, much talked about now, is something that we can dwell on if we want to clear our water bodies? It will cost us a lot of money.
Yes, I want to pay attention to the color of the water first. See, so let's get, like the NIMOS commander said, let's get the water to be blue again and then the forest to be green again. Right. Then we can attend to the chemicals. For now, the physical thing we can all see will be the coloration of the water, which is now brown. Let's eliminate that. And like I said, that's possible, that's doable. At a point in the fight in the past, we got the water bodies to return to some semblance of normalcy. Let's give ourselves up to the end of the year to get that done. Because that's the only visible evidence.
That's realistic?
That's realistic.
Iran, we have 2 months.
Yes. 2 months. In fact, if every champagne is removed from the water bodies, if every Galamsey site that has its water, residual water going into the river bodies is stopped, I give you 1 month, the water will cleanse itself.
Okay.
That's it. The water will cleanse itself. Okay. It's the constant pollution, the constant release of dirty water into the river bodies. That's what we are witnessing. If these activities are stopped, and it shouldn't be difficult, like I said, on water bodies, and those that are mining closer to the water bodies, and then channeling the dirty water into the rivers. That's it. We can do that. But like I said, if we don't get the water to be wholly blue, at least there will be some changes that can be visible. And that's what many people are looking forward to. Because no matter how much we fight, if the color of the water doesn't change, you can't convince anybody that you have mounted any fight. That's where the challenge is, right? Good. Kenasibe, yes, as you mentioned,
as
Franklin Kujo, of course, as frontal as it gets. And you related to the president saying that that's what is required. So those appointees who are catching feelings, hello, wake up and smell the coffee. The president says we need this.
We need it.
We need this.
We are not up to praise singing and telling us we have done well when it is clear in our faces that our water is so brown, cocoa brown.
Yes.
When our forest reserves are under siege.
Yes.
When food security is under threat.
Our cocoa is under threat.
Look at the quality of our cocoa now. Very soon, everything we export will be flagged.
Exactly, because
do we want to get to that stage?
That's the question.
Where everything, including our gold, will be flagged?
Yes.
And see, we are an export and import-driven economy.
Yeah.
And so if all these things that cushion us, we say agriculture is our mainstay. What happens to agriculture?
Exactly.
If even the food we consume as a population, we cannot vouch for the safety of it. If children being born are born with deformities, that is our human resource base, that is our future. And so we are not even assured of the next generation. That is a cause to worry.
See, and many people think that when you talk about Galamsey, then you're saying that the president should have been magical. Should have wielded a magic wand, just wave it, and then everything is done within 8 months. No, that's not what we say. Nobody is deluding himself or herself and saying that a fight that had been waged for, because even under President Mills, there was a Galamsey fight. For more than 16 years, we expected the president to just wave a wand and everything will return to normalcy. No. But we're just saying that we can double the effort. We can do much more. We encourage the minister, you can do much more. Because it's not just about the minister who now wears 2 caps. Environment, which is also responsible for Galamsey, Lands and Natural Resources responsible for Galamsey. You heard the Agriculture Minister complain. Because every effort that he makes will amount to naught if Galamsey is not dealt with. Right? And the same way, so when we talk, we are talking to encourage. We are pointing you to things you can do. Right?
Because mind you, you may be in your office. The critical things are not seen when you're seated in the office. We go out there, and so the things we see are the things we can point out to you. So all you can do is take it in good faith. I saw a post by Erastus, and I saw the Ashanti Regional Minister, who interestingly, an MPP member has praised that he's doing very well. I saw that he went under the post and he commented. We do not want to just see commenting. Erastus is in the Ashanti region. He lives in the Ashanti region. You can just place a call to him and ask him for details. I know that they want to be visible, they want to be seen working. But some of these things, you have access to the people. Just call them directly.
See, there's a price to take for successfully fighting Galamsey. A political price to take. If you succeed, trust me, the critics that today you are seeing will become praise singers. Because if the criticism is about Galamsey and you've had a lip on it, you've had a lid on it, what are they going to criticize you about again, right? So, yes, MPP paid a political price for not fighting Galamsey or not succeeding in a fight against Galamsey.
Because they are scared of its vote repercussions.
Exactly.
But if you look at the population of Ghana, even the voter population, and the population of the people involved in Galamsey, come on, let's be very frank with ourselves. If those people decide not to vote for you, and the ordinary Ghanaian votes for you, don't you think that you need that more than the vote of the Galamseyers?
Really, that's not even either or. And you're right. See, there is responsible mining. Can get these people to mine responsibly through a system that you roll out. Once you get that, these same people that you think if you fight them from engaging in illegal mining, they will fight you back, will now engage in responsible mining, and it's win-win for everybody. Because trust me, we need the gold to be mined. We talk about the stability of our city. It's backed by gold. So we need the gold to be mined. The gold cannot be left on the underground, right? But get a way of getting them to do it responsibly. Now, what we're seeing is that there are many people who think, let's take advantage of the system, right? Even though we have legitimate concession, it's a legal concession. Let's mine anyhow, haphazardly. That's where the problem is. The water bodies, the forest reserves. And then, of course, the Attorney General equally mentions that today, Chairman Wontumi is expected to show up at the police CID. Aside that, he says the LI, the man talked about LI, will be revoked the very first day that Parliament reconvenes, right? But of course, there's another one that will be laid to cater for the vacuum that will be created by the revocation of this one. All those things are what the CSOs are asking for. If so, now there's a definite timeline as to when the LI will give way. Why not? It's a welcoming development.
Exactly.
Let's keep
and
the fire burning.
Let's talk about the DDP.
Yes, the former president is not a happy man.
I am wondering at what point he realized. Did he realize it before he left office, or it's just after? Is a postpartum thing?
That's a good one. Probably this is flying directly from the Professor Makokwe report, right? Because it flags the DDP, and I don't know, and I agree with you that I didn't have to take a report for us to know that. When it was happening, all you needed to know was the fact that for the first time, pensioners, people who are scared of walking out, they are very cautious when they are leaving the washroom because they might slip and fall. All of a sudden, threw caution to the wind and move all the way from their houses with their walking sticks and whatever support they could get to mass up, not once, not twice, not thrice, at the finance ministry. That's how critical it was, right? And the commentary that greeted those moves, right? You could tell that, no, there was some level of insensitivity. You heard Sufaya Kufu, who said she was not directly affected, right? She could get by because she had enough buffers. But she felt somebody needed to speak for these vulnerable members of society, right? You had labor unions.
Exactly.
Right. You had financial analysts. You had economists, right? So it affected virtually everybody to the extent that it threw away the once very safe instrument of investment, like lending money to government, right? That was the safest.
And now people were forced to keep money under their pillows.
Exactly.
I mean, it even affected the banking sector.
Oh, yes, it did. People could not get money to buy their drugs. You see, when you go on retirement, there are a number of things you spend your money on. Hospital bills, drugs, medication, painkillers. Right? These are people, many of them are constantly in pain. This chair that you are seated on, the late former CEO of Kama,
he sat here.
He sat here and lamented and talked about how he was struggling. At a point in time when you were counting the richest people in this country,
he was one of them.
Exactly. So this is to tell you how much impactful that particular policy was. And to couple with the fact that we could have avoided this earlier. There were many people who said, let's go to the IMF, let's go to the IMF, let's go to the IMF. The finance minister then said no. So it became worse. Many people had said that when they went there in an ambulance, when we could have walked there physically.
Because of their posturing, that Ghana didn't need an IMF program, and that nothing will make then administration go for an IMF bailout. And then eventually, we had to walk there.
We had to go. So, yes, the president has, for the first time, publicly stated the anguish that he went through personally, and the fact that this impacted the ordinary citizens.
Yeah.
And many people went to bed knowing they had investment. They woke up, the investments were gone. The president mentioned that there will not be any haircut. There were much more than haircuts. You remember in his COVID address, he mentioned that, look at me, there will be no haircut. And then subsequently, the reality dawned on us. Just as the finance minister said, we were not going to go to the IMF, but the reality dawned on us.
Eventually, we had to.
We're overtaken by events because we didn't do the things we ought to do at the right time, right? We were very happy that every year we're able to go to the capital market and borrow $3 billion. And that cushioned the city, that cushioned the economy. And that gave us some semblance of stability and progress and growth. Right, until we realized that the capital market was no longer there for us. And
being shut out of the capital market
it was a big deal.
Was one of the biggest blows. I mean, it meant that, Charlie, your economy, if your economy was not doing well internally, you're practically on your knees.
Exactly, and we were very convenient with our explanation that it's as a result of COVID, right? Now the World Bank is saying that our problems were not occasioned by COVID-19, right? But sometimes I wonder what happens to these Bretton Woods institutions, right? When this conversation was raised,
was needed.
They felt that they didn't have to say things as they were. They felt that, yes, COVID had impacted every country. Yes, COVID had impacted every country. But in our case, we had a number of goodies as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, right?
We're cushioned a lot.
We're cushioned a lot, right? Yes, we suffered relative to revenue mobilization and what have you, but we introduced levies as a result of COVID as well. Some of them we are still paying, right? The COVID levy we are still paying.
Exactly.
Of course, government has promised that subsequently it will go,
off,
but we are still paying. So the president, he didn't apologize though. He didn't, but he mentions that it's one of the darkest moments of his presidency, one of the most traumatic moments. And it says he's still haunted by that decision.
You know,
even though it was a necessary evil.
President Akufo-Addo, former President Akufo-Addo, well, once the president, always the president, by the way. So President Akufo-Addo never came across as somebody who admitted to some of these things. And so for him to admit, it means that it's something that really dawned on him.
Oh, yes. Because it's affected virtually everybody. Diaspora investors. Investors. Remember this comedian, the Ghanaian comedian who had moved to the US and had come to put up a school as a part of his philanthropic work. And he had invested, thinking that the proceeds will help him take care of the school, which he charges no fees. And he had been informed that he had to suffer a haircut. He went on social media ranting, right? Yes. So, see, it is as bad as the former president is painting it. Let's never get there again as a country. Seriously.
That I agree. Okay. So that should do for Inside Out. I know that Gabia Sarachida was also.
Oh yes, he talks about the fact. I think it's related. He talks about the fact that the MPP should not admit that it did nothing good. It was mass failure. Once you do that, you are arming your opponent. He, for instance, believed that the party did a lot of work in the Ashanti region. So when you go there and you apologize that we didn't do anything for you, we are sorry. When we return,
now the thing you did know, as you are talking, enumerate them. That okay, you are going to the Ashanti region, apologize and tell them we did A, B, C. Then we know that you're actually talking about something. Give us tangibles. But you cannot say that, oh, we did something for them. What are those things?
Yeah, that's a good question. So he says once Ashanti region benefited from the development that the NPP brought for the 8 years that it was in power, maybe the expectation from the region was very high because it's the stronghold of the party, right? So you acknowledge the fact that they expected much more from you, but it didn't mean that you didn't deliver. So you delivered, but you give them more. He said it's a political strategy.
So those of you apologizing on behalf of then government, please stop. That's according to Gabi Asare-Chidako. Who the cap fits, let them wear it. That's it for Inside Out. Let's look at the papers. a daily guide, Angela List wins Global Award. Kumasi Inner Ring Road project's not new, that's according to the minority. Galamsey state of emergency. Mahama shifts decision to national security. Well, he says if the national security advises him to declare a state of emergency, he will. He's not solely placing the decision on the doorstep of the national security. I know that we're journalists. Sometimes let's capture the issues as they are. Yeah. Government outlines 5-pillar strategy against illegal mining, and we must say that the lands minister is really working. He's really working.
Yeah. We encourage him. We encourage him. We need our environment safe. We need our water bodies clear. Yeah. That's the most important thing. Yeah. So every strategy you must deploy. Emmanuel Amakofiwa, please deploy them. Dr. Razak Poku writes on National Lotto Act and regulations. Okay. Yeah, he was there.
Quite an interesting read.
Yeah, I think he was there at a point working at from the PR unit there. Anyway, under Samioku.
Okay.
So I'm sure that's what he's writing. But the minority and then the Kumasi Inner Ring Road project. I'm aware, of course. I did a story of the finance minister signing an agreement with JICA, Japan, for 3 billion Japanese yen grant. For this project. So is the minority saying that the project, as it's been named, has always existed? Yes, of course, the road is there. The finance minister will not manufacture the road, right? It's there. But is a fixing. So, or they're saying that the grant that has just been signed with the government of Japan was signed.
Was lobbied for under the period. That's.
Sometimes we can let things go. To be honest, we can let things go. Because the agreement has just been signed.
And we are now getting the support.
Yes.
So what's with, it's not a new thing. Yes, we know it's not a new thing. It's not a new road.
Yes.
But in the end, if it is done, it will benefit all of us.
Exactly.
Alomi Male, Ghana be. Okay, let's move on.
The Daily Graphic this morning, Galamsey rips through Insuta rail line, 3-kilometer Takoradi Achem line destroyed. And of course, it's there.
People, you are doing Galamsey.
Galamseyers, you see, they have they have nothing like rail line.
Under people's homes.
They had nothing like rail line. See, go to Asante Atim Konomo. See, we pray that there is never an earthquake. I come from that enclave. See, the entire Odumasi community will just be swallowed because the miners are under homes digging. Because yes, that's what they are doing. They are under people's homes mining. So whenever there is earth tremor,
it will caving.
Oh. Mahama renews war on Galamsey, other headline here, and pledges comprehensive sustained action. Richard Timob, crowned most outstanding teacher. Yes, and Nat over the weekend in Ho. Yeah. Nat spoke there, and it's admonishing its members that if they want to do their thing, they have other female teachers. Other female teachers, and so they should turn their attention to the other single female teachers and leave the case alone.
I don't know if I am. So do they mean that if they want to?
They want to marry.
Okay, or because the people who are perpetrating these things are married.
Yeah.
Does it mean that if they want to abuse, they should abuse the female? I don't understand. Because what they are doing to the girls is abuse.
Yes.
Are you saying that if they want to? Or maybe if they want to engage in sexual activity, I mean, that's what you mean. Or you can, well, I cannot say.
Yeah, but I think we need a better system than just turning to the female teachers, right? There should be a
Because
system.
if you are married to and you're saying that you're turning to the, I mean, what kind of?
In fact, that can even create some despondency, right? And chaos, which will in the end affect the kids.
Yeah.
Because imagine two teachers fighting. Over a relationship. Obviously, they will not have the peace of mind to teach their kids. So
when two elephants fight, now the ground is suffer.
You see that thing. So let's have a system that punishes the teachers for taking advantage of the kids.
Yes.
That should be mutually exclusive.
It is not about whether they want to do it with teachers or they want to do it with their wives. We don't care.
Yeah.
Stop taking advantage of children.
Simple.
Let the children be children.
Simple.
Once they are in your custody or once they are under your care, you have a responsibility towards them. That's it. Simplicity.
I agree.
Anyway, let's move on and do other papers. The custodian says lawyer notifies Parliament to impeach Mahama. Hey, sir. Over Galamsey crisis, Mahama Badabe. Kumasi Inner Road project began and the NPP minority clarifies. There's a picture of Kennedy was saying, Yako.
Oh, okay, so part has been done. So the funding that has been secured is to complete it or to continue. No problem. Then kudos to the MPP for starting.
Okay.
Kudos to the NDC for continuing. We're done now, right?
Yes. We'll pick Baumia for 2028. Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Greater Accra NPP delegates declare. I hope we'll also not come to the point where, I mean, we'll hear that those were not actual declarations.
Oh, no, a number of people there will declare, but it cannot be the entire Ashanti region. Neither can it be the entire Eastern region or the Central or Greater Accra MPP delegate. Some delegates. Just as others are also declaring for Brian.
Exactly.
See, there were people in the Central region, for instance, who said they are party executives there, they are delegates, they've declared, right? There were some youth in Ashanti region as well. Others who equally declare for Educhum. Others who declare for Ken.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Anyway, nation to mark 40 days of Apostle Kwadwosafo's passing. We really need to honor him. Public education about National Lotto Act 2006 Act 722 and LI 1948 of NLA. That's by Razak Kojoku.
The Daily Statesman this morning, NIA boss outlines reforms to strengthen NHIA. NHIA boss outlines reforms to strengthen private health insurance. And of course, NPP clarifies origins of Kumasi Inner Ring Road project. Equiapim North MP strengthens rural healthcare with donations. And Baumia gains strong backing for tour of key NPP regions. Ghana to Anna, Star of Africa, at on October 20.
The Ghanaian publisher says Blue Gold demands mining lease back, claims bias towards Heath Goldfields. Galamsey fights during results. That's according to Emmanuel Kofi-Boah, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, also caretaker Minister for Environment. Baumia's 2028 bid gains major boost. Ghana observes 40 days of Apostle Kwadwosafo. Angela List wins 2025 GPW Award.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Blue Gold and then the heat. I've seen publication that the state capture here and there. And I say, do people actually read? This deal was done under the MPP.
Exactly. So how then is it a state capture?
Anyway, the new Crusading Guide this morning, massive groundswell for Baumia as regional former party executives rally behind his 2028 bid, and unity, not spears, will define our future. Tanko Atokle tells Anglo people, and NDC cannot develop Ashanti region better than MPP. That's according to Kuka. He's seeking to replace him. I want to meet
in the Ashanti region. Yes. Kuka case.
Kuka case. Yes. And Untumi is also moving to the national level as national chairman.
It's interesting the faces that are eyeing that job. The man Torino.
A few others. FIASEC 70th anniversary. Mining companies urge to support educational infrastructure project. And nation marks 40th day of Apostle Kwadwosafo's passing. Edukrom Presbyterian Senior High Technical School relief of acute water shortage crisis. And Angela List breaks into World's League of Most Powerful Women or Global Award. Gumwafete Omankrado denies involvement in sand-winning activities. That is it for the new Crusading Guide.
The Ghanaian Times says Galamsey fight. I'll declare state of emergency if, the president says, if national security advises. $300 million Bright International Amusement Park set to become Ghana's 24-hour economy epicenter. Okay, interesting. Sports Minister rally support for Black Stars. Okay, Black Stars, them go do. We'll go see. Zoom Lion supports National Sanitation Day. Yeah, so last Saturday was actually National Sanitation Day.
Yes.
I think that we need to do a lot of noise about it. So we can bring back, we can renew the call for it and engaging everybody. So everybody is on board in this.
True.
See, our country is dirty.
You're right.
Especially Accra. Accra is dirty.
Accra is very dirty.
So we need
the garden city is also no longer a garden city.
Yeah.
Right? So there are many things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Right. I think if you look at our regional capitals, Sunyani is very clean. The last time I was there, I don't know about now, and that was about a few years ago. Tamale is equally clean. Hopefully they are still clean as they were.
Well,
and let's do more so other regions can also get to that level.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why we need sanitation companies to be up and doing as well. So the Daily Post this morning, government to introduce AI mapping and track and trace system for mining. And Vice President vows strict action against teachers who abuse female students. Agree with her. And let's unite with one spirit to develop and law. Council of State member urges chiefs and traditional leaders. And so the Yam Festival was also over the weekend.
And Tugwafede
was speaking there and decried how much damage corruption is doing to our progress.
Because if for 4 years, even our corruption perception index, we were at a standstill, that should tell you that we need to do a lot in our fight against corruption. So those are the headlines on the front pages of the various newspapers. You can grab copies at your various newsstands. Alternatively, you can log online and read on them. Or we have a host of stories for you on starfm.com.gh, We also have a host of stories for you. Ivy, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
For Inside Outs. Let's bring you the latest sports updates and the sports chat.
We beat Liverpool.
The Blues are happy. We know. Jones is here. Jones, good morning.
I'm giving a bombastic side. Anyway, you know, if it had ended in a win for Liverpool, we would have laughed at Chelsea. If it had ended in a win as for Chelsea, we are laughing at Liverpool. So both ways, we are happy. But for me, I'm here for Barcelona fans this morning. For 1 pound, they said Barcelona went to Sevilla for one reason. The game ended 4-1, just for one reason. Hey, Barca 4. Our director is a Barca fan. She's not happy. But good morning to her. But you know, Lily, yesterday I discovered my swimming skills.
Hey, sir.
Yes. Yes. Before we start, don't forget that the corporate work, the Star corporate work will be coming soon. We'll be starting. We'll talk about that. But before walking, you have to swim. And yesterday, when you look at that video, at the start of the video, the director can start the video again. You will see that I was the one trying to do some. You see Jones there. Yeah. So yesterday I discovered my swimming skills at Botema. But then Ghana has done it again. 69 medals at the African Aquatic Swimming Championship held in Botema yesterday. And it was just great. You see, so we have the youth side and then the senior side. And the senior side, they went all the way out to be crowned the first. I mean, they came first. And we saw the likes of Senegal are placing second and third in there. But then the young boys, the young men, 15-year-old guys, just making Ghana proud. So let me just give us a breakdown of how things went. Juniors overall, Senegal came first with 31 medals, 11 gold, 12 silver medals, and then 8 bronze medals. And then for Ghana, we came second, 43 medals, 10 gold, 21 silver medals, and then 12. You know, and then the way swimming is just like athletics, just by 2 seconds. You touch. Oh, they were nearly there for the junior side, but then they came second. Nigeria came third. 10 gold medals, 5 silver medals, and then 17 bronze medals. Now the senior side, in fact, they made us proud. They won 13 gold medals, 6 silver medals, 7 bronze medals, and then 26 medals in total. Senegal came second with 36 medals, but then Ghana had a majority of the bronze, the gold medals. And Benin, who would have thought, Benin came third, yes. They had 4 gold medals, 4 silver medals, no bronze medal, and they came 8th in there. So congratulations to them. And you see the young men on your screens there. The likes of Harry Stacey, Abeku, Jackson, and then of course, Yuselu Mensah, all making Ghana proud in there. Let's head to the Ghana Premier League, I believe. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. But then the UDS, don't forget that the UDS team have also arrived. They are back in Ghana, and the sports minister, I was complaining that actually we are not celebrating them enough. And surprisingly, the sports minister surprised me. He went there to meet them. In fact, I suggested on Saturday that they give them open top. And guess what? They give them that open top bus. And then they had to go around town in Accra.
I must admit that this sports minister is very much in touch with the not just the Black Stars, but every other sports and discipline. And so we must commend him. He's really, really in touch. That shows you that he's open to learn about every other thing. Some members of parliament were equally there. That's a good one.
It just shows that because they are champions of the world, champions of the world. Congratulations to UDS, and thank you, sports minister. We are saying that let's give them something. Let's make them feel welcome. We can surprise them by letting them play friendly with the Black Stars. You know, no, it's because the Black Stars are in town. If we beat CAL, it's a plus to them.
They'll beat Black Stars, my brother.
No.
They'll beat Black Stars. Black Stars never bet Sun again.
Do you want to bet my Android with your iPhone? So, congratulations to UDS. They are champions of the world, winning the 2025 FISU World Football Tournament games in China last weekend. They arrived yesterday. Second batch arrived yesterday, and we are celebrating them. Let's head to the Black Stars. Yes, Black Stars of Ghana. The arrivals of the team. So we are not going to arrive in Ghana because the game is in Morocco. They are going straight to Morocco. The likes of Sibo and then Anan. The senior man Jordan and you, captain of the side. Then of course Antoine Semenyo. Yes, the man who scored 2 goals and an assist last weekend. So they're both in England. And then this man, Thomas Brandon Asante, is replacing Inaki Williams. Inaki Williams is injured. So Asante would come in place of Inaki Williams in there. And then you see the men, the likes of Prince, or arriving. And our own goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari, was the first to arrive. There you see, the SM man. Yes, SM for life.
That's such a handsome goalie.
SM for life. Benjamin Asari also joining the Black Stars with his colleague from Mediama Sporting Club there as well.
Very handsome goalie.
I don't know why you Let's head to the Ghana Premier League. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. The Black Stars of Ghana, of course, would play on Wednesday. There'll be live commentary on Star 103.5 FM. And we have a surprise for you. Live updates from today. Live updates from Morocco. Live, not hearsay. Live updates from Morocco on GHOne TV. So on the game, on our news, sports shows, live. You will see Otoado live on GHOne TV. Let's head to the Ghana Premier League. Kumasi Asante Kotoko played out a 0-0 draw with Accra. So don't forget, hey, not Accra Suffolk.
My brother.
Let me tell you, I know you asked me about Accra Suffolk. Accra Suffolk, they played a 0-0 draw on Friday. That's why they are not here. These games are for Sunday games. A 0-0 draw. They are still unbeaten.
Of course.
They are still the only team.
We are still unbeaten. Please.
Hey. They are also yet to concede a goal. 4 games yet to concede a goal.
What were you expecting, my brother?
So the goalkeeper, Benjamin Asari, 4 clean sheets. Yes, you see? No wonder he's a Black Stars number 1.
My darling. Hey, my darling.
22-year-old goalkeeper. All right, 11 wonders lost 2 young apostles by a goal to nothing. Brekum Chelsea 2, Basakeo Leicester 0. And then Summer Texas and then Gianna FC's game was rained off. Midiama 2, Nations 1, Dreams FC 1, Vision FC 1, Hawkway United. Finally, we have a win.
4-1.
Yes, we trashed Carolina United by 4 goals to 1. They also came to Hawkway for one reason. Just for one reason. Let's look at the table and how things are looking like on the Ghana Premier League table. Bando Heart of Lions. We say Akmini Medrompel. In Bando, that's what we say. Trust me. Top after 4 games, unbeaten, 10 points. Midiama after 4 games are lying second, 9 points. Accra Suffolk, Allah, phobia. I know you're looking for Kotoko.
At least you are number 10, when we are number 3. So hey, please.
Heart of Oak are 10 with 8 points. Young Apostles, 4th. Carolina United. Don't forget, Kotoko have 2 more games to play. You know, Heart of Oak have played 3. Kotoko have played just 2. So don't get
it doesn't matter. 10. Yeah. Oh, 10, we want 3.
But you have 2 more games to play.
Oh, my brother, please. Even if you play the 2 and you will not come to the 3. Oh.
Yo, anyway, they actually face Viviani Gold Stars, so that'll be a big game.
Kotoko for Obake.
Viviani Gold Stars, Hawaii United lie 8 with 5 points, Vision FC 9th, Asante Kotoko. Yes, Lily wants me to talk about them. They are 10 for now. They have 2 more games to play. Nations FC 11th, and so let's look at the bottom 3 because of time. Basake Oli Stars have 2 points. Dreams FC have 1 point after 4 games. Wow, and 11 Wonders have.
Basake Oli Stars. Oh. Dreams, no, they should go and dream at home. They're just wasting our time on that table.
No.
Oh,
They'll
Dreams
be back.
FC.
They'll be
what
back.
happened to Dreams?
Dreams.
They had big dreams, you know.
Buzz. Now let's head to the English Premier League finally. Antoine Semenyo scored 2 goals and had an assist. So in fact, he was involved in all 3 goals for Bournemouth when they beat Fulham by 3-1. Leeds United and Spurs won that game. And guess what? Mohammed Kudus also was involved in an assist and a goal in that game. So the Ghanaian boys, they're all over the place. So Spurs 2, Leeds 1. Arsenal beats West Ham by 2 goals. Manchester United, oh, the Lord did it for us. He did it for us. So our enemies, they cannot laugh. United beats Sunderland by 2-1. Chelsea.
Hey, 2-0.
Hey, sorry. United beat Sunderland by 2-0. Chelsea beat Liverpool 2-1.
Now you can say it.
Okay.
Continue.
Everton also beat Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are losing for the very first time this season. They were beaten 2-1. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Aston Villa 2, Burnley 1. Newcastle 2. Forest 0, and Brentford were home and lost to Manchester City by 1-0. Here's how the table is looking like because of time. Arsenal first, 16 points for the first time. They are first this season. Liverpool were first, have now dropped to second. They lost to Chelsea. Spurs are now third. Mohamed Kudus side are third with 14 points. Bournemouth, Antoine Semenyo, same on points with Kudus, so they are fourth with 14 points. Man City are fifth. I know you're looking for United. Calm down. They are fifth with 13 points. Crystal Palace are sixth with 12 points. Chelsea are 7th, 11 points. Everton, after that win yesterday, are 8th with 11 points. Sunderland are 9th with 11. Manchester United, just like Kotoko, are 10th.
You know, is that red colour which is affecting Man U? Kotoko for no red, no?
We'll change it to blue or white.
Hey, no blue.
The bottom 3, Burnley are 80th with 4 points. West Ham 90th with 4 points. Wolves have just 2 points in there. So, at 1 p.m., do join us on the game, Monica and GHOne. We have a surprise for you right from Morocco. I have Jones ADZI, and of course, we're outside.
Thank you very much, Jones. That should do. I take a break here. When I return with my guest. A lot of issues. We'll talk about President Mohammed's meeting with the CSOs. We'll talk about corruption. We'll talk about President Akufo-Addo's admission. We'll also talk about the NDC and who leads it and whether or not it's good for governance. I'm back shortly. My name is Lily Mohammed. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is still GH Today here on GHOne TV, and my name is Mohammed. And my guests have joined me. My guest this morning, Dr. Dixon Adumahukisi, is one member of Parliament for Anyaso Tum. Paul Nanakwabna Brampamensa is Programs Manager, Team Lead, Security Sector, Local and Urban Governance for the CDD. We're expecting a rep for the NDC to join us shortly, but my two guests are here. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we?
Good morning. Fine. Very well, and happy to be here. And I must say, I like your outfit.
Thank you.
It's nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Paul, you abandoned us.
Yes, I had to join African Union to support Seychelles elections. It's a small country, but they are also coming to a state that they need support. So we're there. They finished the first round without a clear winner. So I'm just seeing the email that I have to go back tomorrow. For per their constitution, it's 2 weeks, 14 days. So calculation is have to be 9, 10, and 11. And don't forget on Ireland, they have 115 islands, so it's difficult to have it one day. So they do it 3 days. They go to some of the islands where they sometimes have even 3 voters, but they have to fly there to go and let people vote. So it takes 3 days to get just 77,000 voters to be able to vote. It's a very expensive conducting elections there.
And how many candidates?
Oh, they had just 8, 5 from political parties and 3 independents. But for this one, it's also geopolitics, just like MPP, NDC, it's the LDS and the US. Yeah, so the 6 other parties combined got just 2.3. Yeah, so you can imagine.
Well, that is a clear one.
Anyway. Sure.
Anyway, let's come back home and talk about one of the issues that is affecting us in every space. It's threatening our food security, it's threatening our health, it's threatening the quality of our gold, the quality of our cocoa, and even the air we breathe, galamsey. And the president met the CSOs of last Friday, where he assured that we're on course, but we need you to put fire under our feet so we can stay on course and win this fight. Many have accused some of them of praise singing, and have also applauded a number of them for going out there and being bold and asking the tough questions. The security agencies have also stated that, well, they're being tough on ground. There's enough boots on the ground to tackle this. Doc, let me start with you. Were you convinced, or are you convinced that this government is on course in fighting galamsey?
I think based on the narrative we had leading up to the election, I'm not impressed.
Why?
I'm not impressed. I've said countless times here that I want to see a major arrest of those financing galamsey. Until then, all the theatrics wouldn't matter to me. And let me remind all of us that the army will go, their possible arrest will not be the financiers. The boots on the ground for galamsey are not those financing. They are very sophisticated, and I would rather government brings to the nation 2 culprits who are still in the business of, financing galamsey. Let me say that it is obvious, based on the present narrative, that they may use the Ashanti Regional Chairman as one of their scapegoats. But I also want to caution that there were other actors or characters in that movie who were also from the NDC fraternity. And for fairness, I would hope that justice is meted out to both, quote-unquote, MPP colored people and NDC colored people. And that is when they'll win my confidence. As they say, so I want to
as it is, challenge the president that I am not for Galamsey, and I abhor it. In very literal terms, this is, as we are now saying, chemical terrorism, and these people are using chemicals to destroy our future. And for that reason, I support the military, but I also want to ask that key question. Those financing the boys who will be arrested in the various forest reserves, where are they? Okay. That is my biggest thing. And as it stands now, one other very important element has not been addressed, which is correcting the issues of the water bodies. And what are we doing? How are we burdening the companies who are doing the extraction so that they pay for the Ghana water bill? I'm not saying the water I drink, but I mean the equipments that have been destroyed, the various filtration, purification processes that have been installed and damaged. I really think that, not that I don't like Sami James-Fi, but all that heavy profit should be used to work on all of Ghana's water treatment plant. I can name at least about 4. Okay. The Kuforidia one, the Takrade, Wejagbawe, 3, and then I think another one in the Western North. So these are the key ones that I think that within the quickest possible time, Gold Board should be made to pay for that. I mean, I think that is almost an externality of that industry. It's so direct. Is a no-brainer. Every child in this country knows that our drinking water sources have been damaged, not by rain and flood, but by this activity. And they have attested to the fact that over the past 8 months, they've had so much profit from the extraction industry, and they cannot trace and tell me how much of that is from quote-unquote small-scale miners or illegal mining. And for that reason, I also think that we need to find a way to be able to trace to the forest or to the location where these gold bars are coming from. I appreciate the agric industry in the European area. One egg can be traced to the farm. One lettuce or cabbage can be traced to the farm. And it's always remarkable when you see how the beef industry in Europe, they do their tracking and tracing, so that if there's poisoning, food poisoning, they can check if it was the restaurant or from the farm. And that's how they can do recalls and removal of products or produce from the market. So I really think that moving forward, as much as we want to do the right thing, we have to incorporate tracing and tracking to the T. That's the only way you can tell me that this gold bar is from illegal activity or not. I know there'll be some things lost in translation. It happens in this industry. But if we can do heavy tracing and tracking,
it's one of the things that the security personnel mentioned, that they'll be deploying AI.
They'll be deploying what?
AI.
Well, I mean, maybe they don't. I mean, AI is still managed by men. And Ghana AI, trust me, we know how things get influenced, and not to remind us of our pain. Per military protocol, wrongful people got on a plane instead of what was on the manifest. And that should not have happened under no circumstance. So I'm just cautioning that the standard operations need to be followed. And I think that we need to work heavily and ensure that in Ghana, wherever the gold is mined or diamond is, we can track it. And once we are able to do that, that sophistication will also reduce the, erratic, entry into many forest reserves. So he's done something, I must admit. It was more of an information sharing program, more of a rehash of what is already known. As it stands now, Mr. President, I want to see a very sophisticated investigation that lands us into a person or a group that are financing illegal mining. Okay. When you do that for me, and let me admit, we've seen the FBI's and the CIA's go after drug campaigns. They don't go after those peddling on the road, small kilos. We want that bust that is heavy.
Okay.
That bust that can move Ghanaians and say, hey, wow, even this man has been arrested. Hey, then, supposing it was Ibrahim Mahama, which is not, don't get me wrong, a figure like him, who we know is dear to the president, is arrested for illegal mining. Then I can confidently say that, yes, President Mahama has really arrived. If you listen to that Greek minister, Eric, Honorable, he states categorically that it's a huge problem because some of the actors, are with them. And it takes huge political will. You have to have some Saddam Hussein type of mindset to be able to do this. And that, I think, we haven't arrived. Or the Chinese way, where, as you can see, the Chinese are very serious when their government officials do something wrong. They don't joke. They really take you to the cleaners. They arrest you, they jail you, and if you're not careful, firing squad. And that is quite serious. And that means that even in all their craziness, the Chinese don't play when it comes to corruption or illegal activities. So it's very clear, I cannot go and mine in China and walk away as a Ghanaian. You dare not. You dare not. They are very strict. I remember even in Vietnam, I mean, if you're a foreigner and you're caught doing illegal activities, my goodness, you are in huge trouble.
Right.
Because even their own citizens, they don't play with them when it comes to some of these illegal activities.
Okay. Dr. Dramani Bukai has joined us. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning.
You're welcome. So he's a member of the NDC communications team. I'll come to you shortly, but let me go to Paul.
I was happy when I saw only one political party rep, so that at least I don't go into the campaigns and political fights today.
No, we won't fight. We'll only express our side of the story.
So look, you're welcome. Yes.
Paul, Galamsey and its attendant effect, President Mohammed, you're a member of CSO. President Mohammed joining with the CSOs.
So first, let me pick 5 of the issues mentioned. One by the minister in charge of the mineral resources.
Lands and natural resources.
There is one by the man who spoke about stability in the water bodies, and one by the Colonel Yabua. So when you sum up the 3 speakers I've mentioned, it's just an issue of painting the clear danger that, as Honorable said, we've known over the years. One, we've lost the fight. Exactly what was painting, because when you look at the presentation from the Honorable Minister, He said, wherever you see red in the map, it means there are places that have been taken over by the miners, and even the security officials are finding it difficult to enter those zones. That's the state we have in the country. That's what he said. The security officers. Now, the security officers we have in the combined illegal fights include the military. So if the combined force of military police is facing difficulty in entering an area marked as red zone in a mining area, then it tells you the extent of the problem that we have. Two, they also mentioned infrastructure destruction, including railway lines that have been distracted, school buildings, and many other infrastructure that the Galamsey activities have distracted. Honorable was asking who pays for the cost. Wow. That's the fair question. Not the cost of the distraction, the cost of us fighting the illegality. We have trained almost 1,000 blue water guards. Who is paying for that cost? We are now going to add AI. Drones in the fights against the illegality. Who is going to pay for the cost? So to me, the danger is there. We have, over the years, across parties, we've been able to articulate theory as to how we intend to fight them. But the actual fights, the commitments, the structures, to me, I don't see much needed actions that is required to do that. We've gone beyond emergency. If you listen to all the speakers during the engagement to the CSOs, we've gone beyond emergency to the extent that now we are not even able to know what date or time we are able to say we've gotten to a point that we've reclaimed about 50 or 30%. We are hoping and continue to hope. One, I think there's disconnect between among the justice delivery institutions. The Honorable Attorney General has said they prepared dockets for people to be put in remand. For his surprise, they were granted bail. And the next day, they were back to the forest to destroy them. So now he arrests them and he wants them to be brought to Accra. So you can see some form of disconnect in the justice delivery institutions themselves. That's where we need a clear guidelines. In the elections, when we're having difficulties in dealing with the electoral problems, we instituted special court for elections. How can't we do that for the fight against Galamsey? So that not only having special judges, but have special court just for Galamsey, because as I said, we've gone beyond emergency so that we are able to deal with it. That's what I will say for now, because I don't think we've said all that need to be said. And when you listen to the coalition of individuals against illegal mining, they said they presented about 10-point recommendations to the government. They did not see any of them being spoken about by the minister. So it means we've said what that we want to say. We want action now. If you looked at the pictures that through the Honorable Minister's presentation were showed, you saw a community within the forest. Not a hut. Not just a building, a community. You have more than 50 houses, tax huts within the center of the forest. And somebody told me something when I was going to BBNE for a stroke. And I said, but people are talking about destruction of the forest. But you can see green along the road. He said, Nana, you see the green by the roadside. When you enter, it's something different altogether. My cousin is a deputy manager for forestry in one of the regions. He wants to stop.
Why?
One, it's not easy to fight to reserve the forest because you'll be killed if you are not careful. That's the danger. Two, you don't have the support of the chiefs. Even the elected assembly members support the Galamseyers. Three, now the farmers themselves are getting frustrated.
If we say the elected assembly members are supporting the Galamseyers, do we have a reason? Is it because of funding?
Because it's lucrative to them.
Okay.
The farmers themselves, who initially were complaining about the destruction of their cocoa farms, are now willing to give out their farms for illegal miners to do their businesses.
Okay.
So it's become a committee of cartel involving the key people you expect to support the fight. So it becomes difficult. So now the fighters are in the minority. That's against when it started, that you saw the pastors, the chiefs, everybody was trying to cry for support. Now they are trying to cry to allow the people to do what they are doing, even though it's illegal. My last point is selective justice. If we really want to fight Galamsey, we need to stop the window shopping. We need to stop the selective justice and concentrate of actual commitment to fighting the Galamsey, as we call the dealing with everybody equally. We've seen pictures. Example is in the Ashanti region, where a party chairman was mining just close to the road, a main road from Kumasi to Bibiani, and we are saying we did not say that. Are we saying it's only Wontumi who has destroyed almost the 70% of the forest that we have in Ghana? I'm not saying Wontumi has done wrong, but let's be holistic so that we are able to fight. What I see about Galamsey here is that it's a business for us. For us means the party that comes to power. So all the fight has been, let's clear this crop of people doing it now so that our people will have the opportunity to also do. Yesterday, I was listening to...
So is do me, I do you?
Yes.
Okay.
I was listening to a group of people that said, we've voted for you over the years. The MPP has controlled. I think it's in the former president, our first president's hometown in Crawford, there about that area. We've voted for you over the years. MPP has taken over the Galamsey side. You promised that he mentioned names. You promised that when you came here that you make sure it returns to us. Now our party is in power. We are struggling to even get chance to enter. Why don't you clear them so that we can also have our opportunity? That was the fight. So I see Galamsey fights as not commitments. I see it as something that we have to give the public some information as the commitment we are doing. Other than that, I will say what I hear from Colonel Yeboah is very encouraging, very motivating, and if clearly he has the support from the political class, I think they can do something.
Doc, good morning once again.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
This is my first time meeting you. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure meeting you.
We haven't met since you appointed me. So. By the way, he's the Deputy CEO of the National Petroleum Authority. Doc, you have done extensive work, especially in climate change, in energy sustainability, and Galamsey is one of the threats to these. Are we on course?
I should think so. Now, I should think so for a number of reasons. First of all, we must acknowledge that illegal mining is a multifaceted problem. And so in tackling it, there ought to be an integrated approach, which approach must, if you have, include must be tackled from a number of angles. Now, you would say that it's an economical problem because there are young people, able-bodied, with a lot of energy, who are trying to find a meaningful source of livelihood. They are only rich within the purview of their jurisdictions. And the one which is seen to be most lucrative is illegal mining. And so they find that. So in dealing with that, there ought to be intentionality at finding alternative sources of livelihoods for these individuals. That's number one. Number two, there are laws that ought to regulate the activity and seclude or put away protected areas that ought not to be mined. Unfortunately, over the course of history and in the recent past, we have seen
the unfortunate design of regulation that has allowed mining in areas such as forest reserves. That should never have happened. It should never have happened. Now, thirdly, there ought to be enforcement of the laws of this country. The Minerals and Mining Act, in addition with several other laws, clearly designates offenses and the penalties that ought to be applied. Now, people ought to be prosecuted as swiftly as possible so that those that are eventually punished serve as deterrent to the rest of the persons who would have been thinking about who are even engaged in that activity. We haven't seen so. Now, this administration is taking a number of steps to correct that. Number one, we have seen an amendment to LI 2462 intending to clearly remove the opportunity of mining in forest reserves, which for me is a monumental step forward. Because quite clearly, forest reserves are a significant resource for the country. And in fact, in many jurisdictions, like in the Amazonians in Brazil and things like that, people are monetizing falling reserves through carbon credits, for instance. That, if we commercialize those zones and get into the arena where they are becoming real cash for persons who are taking care of them and protecting them over the course of time, that could become a source of employment even for some of the youth who are engaged in illegal mining. Number two, we have seen our waters gone into levels that we have never witnessed before in history. Never, ever.
That's true.
Water that looks far beyond anything you can ever imagine. And the question is, illegal mining has been here with us for decades. But we haven't seen this. I think the main problem ought to do with the use of monumental earth-moving equipment, which has to do with excavators, and the levels at which excavators are being imported into this country, not for the construction of roads, not for the construction of other critical infrastructure, but the destruction of our environment in search for gold. And sometimes in search for gold in a process that is so very wasteful, very wasteful. Wasteful to the extent that it's not efficient. And so we lose much of the mineral resource to the grounds, and yet, we destroy the environment. So for me, again, this is why the Ghanaian community ought to be commending this government. Now there's a new permit regime in place. You cannot import an excavator or a heavy earth-moving equipment into this country without clear, explicit permission that has been obtained. You cannot. So then, beyond that, there's instruction, and that is being implemented as we speak, that every excavator that has been imported into this country ought to be tracked. And so at every point in time, the whereabouts of that equipment can be traced. Which then means that if you imported it and you lied for the want of a better word, that you were going to use it for the construction of a specific activity, and it ends up in a forestry, in a mining zone, in an illegal mining zone, quite clearly you will be caught. Now, the other reason why I think we are making progress is this. In the past, and this is not symbolic, and many people tend to think that those are acts of symbolism. They are not. Much as we want to hold public officials and government to their feet, we ought to commend them where they are making little progress. Now, in the past, we have seen persons in government being named not by the opposition, not by ordinary citizens of this country, but by high-powered government officials themselves. And here, I'm talking about the professor, the former Minister for Environment and Technology's report, and the persons that were named.
Professor Frimpong Boateng's report.
Professor Frimpong Boateng. Nothing, absolutely no action. In fact, we have yet to see any single action, and we will never see that because that government is moot or defunct. Today, even at the speculation, just speculation of some party officials, the ruling government party officials being involved, what did we see? A referral to the Attorney General and other security agencies for investigation. For me, that's a significant sign of political will.
Okay.
For me, that's a significant sign. I think that even the transparency with which this government is approaching the fight of illegal mining is something that shows progress. You saw how the president's meeting with civil society organizations went. You saw the good faith, and you saw, the deliberateness in wanting pure, transparent, deliberate solutions to ensuring that we are actually able to get a stranglehold on the fight against galamsey. You saw that. And people were free, including my brother certainly, close to me here, to ask and to prefer alternative solutions. And we saw that. And this government is a listening government. So far, we have seen that.
Okay.
And this government will take some of the recommendations. And it's also important to carry people along anyway, as you fight a national challenge like galamsey.
Okay.
It's important. So again, that opportunity was look, the idea of saying that it's for party, like when one government leaves and another government comes, there's a lot of interest from persons aligned with that party to want to take over illegal mining. Maybe, just maybe, we will see this often at the grassroots. But at the high levels of the political structure in this administration, we haven't seen that. It's not something that is existing. It's not. And I think that a lot more listeners and a lot more people paying attention to this would attest to that fact. I think it behoves on us as a government, and it behoves on us as a people, because the development of this country, while it's being led by the government of the day, several other stakeholders contribute to it, including the non-governmental development organizations, the think tanks, and the rest of them. I think that what we need to design is meaningful sources of livelihoods and trades. So which means that it ought to be complementary. So that persons who were hitherto engaged in this will actually find themselves meaningful jobs. But just by way of London, let me say that, look, also the fact that there are some legal reforms that are coming up will compel people who used to find this as a safe haven to to think twice. Now we are having, and my brother was making that allusion that his recommendation will be for government to establish specialized court. Only recently, the Attorney General mentioned that there's discussions have been far advanced with the Chief Justice to ensure that specialized courts within this country now take on the adjudication of all offenses related to illegal mining.
Okay.
And even at the circuit court level, they are seeking to establish tribunals that will have clear timelines, not more than 6 months in the trial of cases involving illegal mining.
Okay.
Which then means that we are getting to the point where we will see, very quick prosecution of offenders of mining laws of this country, which then means that persons will be put behind bars, which means that they will then serve as deterrents. I mean, look at the number of excavators that have been seized, for instance. Look at those that have been impounded, for instance, at the ports. These are significant investments that will disincentivize any financier from wanting to push a lot more money into that arena. And that alone could solve the problem by half. Because without those heavy-duty equipments, the kind of destruction that we are seeing today is not anything that we are going to be seeing.
Absolutely. All right, let me take a break here. When I return, we'll talk more on national issues. Please stay tuned in. This is the Breakfast Review on GH today. My name is Lily Mohammed. My guests are still seated, Dr. Dramani Bukhari, Paul Abrampamensa, and Dr. Dixon Adumakukisi. Let's now talk about corruption. Over the weekend, there was the Yam Festival in Ho, where the Agumafia of the Asokli State, the Wapade, mentioned that corruption is still a major thing, as it's still blocking our progress. Dr. Dramani, let me start with you. Where are we in our fight against corruption? I know that we are making progress. If you look at the perception index, now we're around 42. Where are we? Especially with the much touted oral. People say that, well, it was just a wild goose chase.
Well, again, this is an area where we need to be united in the fight as a people, as Ghanaians, as opposed to throwing out tantrums and blaming each other for what we could have done or for what we are not doing best. Because, in all honesty, corruption has no political color. Neither does it have an ethnic color. It's clearly a human problem that we need to take decisive action on. Government upon government in this country have often set out their own roadmap and strategy on how to deal with it. And previous national anti-corruption, action plans and things like that were drawn up. Unfortunately, we have oscillated between a score of 42, 45, thereabout, over the course of time. And I would wish that we were doing far, far better than that. But having said that, this government, since assuming office and under the broader umbrella of the reset agenda, has commissioned a number of actions aimed at taming corruption or making it highly unattractive. But even before I go into the details of that, let me say that that comment by Togbe Afede, the respected or the revered Togbe Afede, ought to be commended. And for me, we need high-profile individuals like him to continue to speak to challenging issues of state building like corruption at every opportunity. I mean, when the opportunity presents itself, so that it will put government and other stakeholders on their toes to try and deal with it. Since assuming office, this government have done a number of things. Number one, the government has made it, even while our legal laws do have this, or we do have this now in our laws, but many a times, governments don't seem to be very aggressive at enforcing asset declaration, for instance. I got my appointment on the 12th of February 2025.
And when did you declare asset?
And by the 30th, in fact, I declared my asset on the 27th of March, because the government and the president has set a deadline of 30th March 2025.
So at what point did you declare your asset? You declared before 30th March.
Before 30th March.
Okay. But did you know about your appointment?
Well, so you know about your appointment only when the letter has been presented to you. Anything else is speculation until then.
Okay.
As soon as your letter is presented to you, then you know that you've now been appointed. And then you have to go through the process of, reporting and all of that, and then being taken through, a few things. And by the time you settle, you are supposed to declare your asset. And this government actually made it incumbent on everyone whom had been appointed from the 1st of January, which is when the government itself assumed office and there were not too many appointees, but from the 1st to say the 30th of March needed to declare their assets. Okay? And in fact, SIGA was mandated to follow up on everyone and whip up everyone to ensure that you actually went ahead and declared your asset. And we saw, that people whom by that time had not declared their assets were actually running helter-skelter to ensure that they did that. In fact, I was outside the jurisdiction of this country when I was even being called once again after 30th March to actually confirm that I had actually declared my asset. And I had to get someone to get to my house, get the receipt of submission, scan it and send it to me, and then I forwarded it to SIGA. Just so that they can, cross-check that I've actually declared. That, for me, is one big step towards what? Solving or because you see, there's the call for a lifestyle audit.
Sure.
There ought to be a baseline with which that is being assessed. Where's that benchmark? Where is that if you haven't declared your asset? And in the past, we have had people in government for 4 years without declaring their assets. 4 years. Now there's a code of ethics. There are certain things I cannot do as an appointee of this government. Monies as little as 20,000, if you are given that, you will have to declare it. You will clearly have to declare it. Otherwise, if it comes into the attention of the appointing authority, sanctions are applied. There is, and I think it's not for the want of laws that we have corruption in this country. And corruption will come in many forms. I think most of the time, that which becomes problematic is procurement corruption. That which becomes problematic is procurement corruption. Question we ask ourselves is, the Public Financial Management Act, the gift mix, and all the other mechanisms that we've put in place, to what extent have they really supported the fight against corruption? What are the loopholes, the value for money audit, which this government has actually commenced? To what extent will it really help with the fight against corruption? So for me, it will take, and let me tell you, look, corruption is not just about the public official alone. It's also about the private business person. Why? You don't procure things for yourself. And in that process, if you get corrupted or if somebody is being used as the vehicle. Somebody is being used as a vehicle. So for me, the attention and it ought to be that narrow-mindedness of looking at only political appointees every day and scapegoating people and all of that is something that I think we need to broaden the conversations. And just not look at who is a minister here, who is that, who is this, and then look at their lifestyle. Well, it's important, but there are other persons in the chain, in the value chain, that ought to be focused, that the lenses ought to focus on. And for me, this government has promised to do a number of things. Legal reforms are one of them. Ensuring the prosecution of all alleged corrupt individuals is another. And we found that oral at least gave us significant cases, alleged cases to start with. When they presented their reports, we also 200 cases that the Attorney General now have on their table, submitted in the report. 33 of them are currently being pursued and at various levels of, getting where we will see prosecutions beginning and all of that. So for me, it's important. Oral was not supposed to be alpha and omega, but it was supposed to. And I think it's a very important component of this government's fight against corruption.
Some sort of a precursor?
Absolutely. And we needed to get that information before we will be able to move forward. And I think that it did a very good job with the report that they submitted. And very soon, we should also be thinking that, look, the bottom line is what? Proving beyond reasonable doubt. Okay? So for me, it's going to take time. But the most important thing is, are people being penalized for actions that they had taken in the past that frowns on the laws of this country?
Absolutely. Paul?
Honorable ended. People being penalized. Not only the sanction regime, the punishment, but also reclaiming whatever booties the corrupt people have taken. I was just looking to the trend from the Afrobarometer, and you can see it's not a very good trend that we have. And consistently, the 5 most corrupt institutions in the country, we mention the government. And I want to believe it's because of the post-election and change of government persecutions that bring this perception, because Afrobarometer is just perception survey, that bring this perception to the minds of the public. So anytime there's change of government, that's why we realized there were mismanagement, there was corrupt practices. What happens within the governments? Aren't we having the boldness, the courage to investigate and punish our own people who enter into corruption? Honorable was citing the practice in China, that you dare not if you are an officer. So I believe the post-change of government actions, like what the ORA is doing, sometimes paint a picture as if it's a witch hunting. I want a system that will have an established investigation mechanism devoid of political consideration, so that we are able to enforce the law across board, no matter whoever is in government. Honorable says something that corruption, anytime we talk of corruption, we talk about politicians. But we need to be very careful, also our bureaucrats. I've worked in local governance system because I also, apart from security, I also manage local governance in my office. And I've worked in local governance system for close to 12 years when I was given that position. And sometimes you go to work at a district and they tell you, this is the cost of it. This is how we make it. And you compare that project you are going to support, your own house you've built, and you ask yourself, why that? We've been able to establish a system that even the state is not able to negotiate as to how much they spend to get service done. So it's all encompassing. What usually we see, and that's why always the police is on top of corruption, because these are petty things we see daily. There are grand corruption schemes, corrupt practices that go on in the country that we don't see. So to me, it's just an awakening that Tegbe Afede stated, and in fact, not stated, he made it the theme for the year's celebration of this festival. Corruption is a canker to our state, it's undermining development, and it's a problem. And he likened corruption to terrorism. And therefore, if you are not able to deal with it, you are also not able to see development in our country. I always say that I was not taking it serious until I wrote a paper using the Auditor General's annual reports when I was in fellowship. I wanted to compare the yearly mismanagement figures, a trend analysis for about 3 Auditor General's reports, targeting only the MMDAs. And in that period, I think I did the paper in 2016. So I compared 2011 to 2015. And averagely, the mismanagement within the local government structures alone was more than 59 million Ghana cedis during the period. So then it tells you how we are losing quality services because we are mismanaging our resources. How do we fight corruption? 3 things.
Okay.
1, the established regulations. 2, the implementation of the regulations. And 3, the sanction regime. We have all the laws in the country. As Honorable is saying, there are ethical standards, the gift mates procurement procedure. But when you pick the Auditor General's report again, more than 50% of all procurement were sole sourcing. What happens to the people who got involved in the sole sourcing? That's the second point. How are the laws enforced? Secondly, we see people have gone to courts. We've done judgments. Yet those people who were found in corrupt positions still own all their properties. They earn from the corruption cases. It was only our last Auditor General who started surcharging to even government officials who were involved or courts or for manipulation. So if you are not able to establish these 3 protocols to ensure that we fight corruption well, having the established legal framework, enforce the legal framework, and strict sanction regime, I don't think we'll be able to fight corruption. That is exactly the loopholes we have in the fights in corruption in the country.
Doc.
Well, this reminds me of Mohammed's question about if he's been corrupt. And then he said, me as a person. No, you as a president. Anyways, I have a whole different perception about corruption.
Okay.
First of all, let me state that Americans are corrupt, the British are corrupt, Europeans are corrupt. I, most of the time, have a fight with my expatriates who are Ghanaians when they say that, or when they cry about corruption in Ghana. I'm not saying that there is no corruption in Ghana, but I'm talking in the sense that we need to put it on the table and discuss it, looking at all the various angles. My deepest concern in Ghana when it comes to corruption is the fact that some very known transactional costs in doing normal business are seen as corruption. And I say this with the greatest of respect.
Like?
So for instance, when he spoke about the Auditor General, that report is always not entirely the case. For instance, they'll label uncompleted government buildings as cost to the nation. But you'd go there, the building is actually there, it's not completed. The project cost might be 3 million Ghana cedis. Contractor has been paid just 500,000. And it is labeled as loss to the nation. So I think that there are myriad of instances where many things that were perceived to be corrupt later on were found not to be actually corruption.
Okay.
And I think that we need to be mindful of some of these things when we're doing the narrative.
Okay.
Because based on my experience with Public Account Committee, sometimes a lot is lost in the detail. And when the truth comes out, nobody wants to carry the truth. For instance, there are many unfortunate instances where the technocrats are at fault, not necessarily the politician. And the dial is always on the politician. That unfortunately, the dial is always on the politician. So I think that, let me cite, for instance, bank transactions, where when you wire a certain amount, the bank takes a certain percentage, and it is known, be it Barclays, be it Standard Chartered, whatever it is, these transactional costs are borne or paid to these banks. And if somebody then claims that, oh, this is corrupt, I have a problem with it. So I believe that one of our challenges in this country is that, one, maybe sometimes we're not upfront and truthful with the true business cost or the truth that people involved need to be paid for the work they are doing. Sometimes, though, it might be exorbitant, and that is where we can argue, those gray areas, because I think that ordinarily in Ghana, if a doc should see me for consultation and I charge him, somebody will say, hey, you're charging too much for your services. So the ordinary Ghanaian will say, oh, you're minuenti, and I'm just saying, so now obu.
Yeah.
And is that corrupt or is it business? So I always tell people that, listen, let me know the material cost. Let me know your professional cost. The problem in Ghana is the professional cost. We tend not to want to pay for professional services. I mean, that is a problem. And I think that culture needs to change. So you end up costing the products more than they are, because the vendor doesn't want to pay for professional services. It's a host of things. But invariably, I want to speak rather in the opposite, that, listen, we need to look at some of our practices and change them. The British way of doing some things are not even acceptable in America, in the sense that the Brits will give you accommodation and all of these things as part of your package for employment. The Americans would rather pay you heavy. Are you going to look for your own accommodation? So government needs to attend to some of these things. If you're hiring a CEO, why must you provide him a house? Pay him well to go and rent his own house. Then there'll be no question of renovation expenditures. There'll be no question of, So some things have to be administratively done to curb. In the likes of Connecticut, you dare not see a government car on a weekend. I mean, you won't. It's all packed. So when you see a government car on a weekend, there's a police that would even arrest that car and say, hey, GV plate, weekend. And then for you to tell him that I'm going to funeral with government car, it won't happen.
Funeral, but they go to the market.
Oh, I'm just trying to be nice about it. You understand? So when these things change, then I think that we will be on a proper path. So Togbe has said it nicely, but I really think that there are some cultural elements and administrative things that need to be done to curb it, the wastage. The Canadian Prime Minister was asked to pay for fuel for his flight with his family. We are here, government officials are cruising with family for all kinds of events, and government is footing the bill. That is corruption. Oh, yes. I mean, your personal... No, listen. Your personal... in truthfulness, other places, when you take company car, your mileage, you record it. Was it strictly for corporate work? Anything outside of corporate work is literally abuse of the system. So we really need to recorrect our thinking and do some re-engineering in this social construct that we have as a nation. And when we do that, then the cultures will change across board. And those freebies in this country that we think are freebies are all costing the nation.
All right.
You know, so those are my thoughts.
My time is up.
Your time is up.
Yeah, you have.
Okay. Well, so I just wanted to say that, well, fortunately for us and this government, there is no longer the issuance of fuel for persons riding government vehicles.
See, I didn't even go
but again, I wanted to caution us to be careful not to brand things that has been legitimately provided for.
That is what I'm talking about.
In policy as corrupt acts. And this is not related to this government. But I'm just saying so. Because quite clearly, look, when you are issued a government vehicle, it comes with do's and don'ts. And you are requested to sign that document before you take it up. So for many of the things, I mean, they are legitimately within your use.
But they are labeled
you
as
understand
corrupt,
that.
depending on who's
Exactly, but they are labeled, and instances like that may just be clear mislabeling of acts like that.
Yeah. I have to go, but I want to take a word each from you on the word on the street. The former President Akufo-Addo has stated that the DDEP was one of the monumental failures of his administration. Doc, you say that is false.
Let me be categorical here. Based on my checks, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has not stated anywhere that the DDP was one of his lowest points. He may say it in the future, but as of today, there's no video, there's no true report, and that is fake news. Fake news.
Paul, you wanted to say something.
No, I mean, whether he did or not, I mean, we all know that some of the policies are not willingly done. I mean, when you attach your financial operations to the policies of the international community, for example, taking loans from the World Bank, the IMF, you are forced to put in place some measures to be able to ensure that you are able to control your expenses, your debts, and to be able to repay. So whether he did or not, we realized that there were some cutthroat policies attached to some of these loans that we take. And you have to swallow the bitter pill when it comes to that point. And the question is, did those policies help to sustain or stabilize the economy, at least for a certain period? People have to sacrifice to ensure that to get to a point. I was so surprised when I saw his own former Attorney General in a demonstration. I mean, in a demonstration because of that policy. And so many things came up because of that policy. So admittedly, it was a bitter pill that he did swallow. And definitely, whether he did or did not say, it had a bite on the MPP's fortunes in the last election.
Okay, look.
Absolutely, and I think that Nana said it all. Quite clearly, it was a difficult time for Ghanaians with that policy. I mean, pensioners suffered it. Banks suffered it. Pension funds suffered it. The ordinary Ghanaians suffered it. Quite clearly, the point at which we were at, it didn't even have to take the Bretton Woods institutions for us to be there. If we needed to stabilize this economy. And for me, whether he said it or not, in my view, any right-thinking Ghanaian will admit to the fact that the DDEP was such a problematic policy. And I think that even its implementation, and because there's no time, we might not be able to go into the nitty-gritty. Perhaps, even as that policy was even going to hit so hard, we could have softened the hit with a proper methodical implementation of that policy without the confusion and the brouhaha that characterized it. That policy was clearly criticized for being top-down as opposed to something that should have been bottom-up. where you will get all stakeholders to have understood and signed up to contribute, not exactly signed up, but contribute to the nature of that policy before it's implemented. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case akin to many of the policies that we had witnessed in that era.
Okay. So that's Dr. GHOne Bukari. He's the Deputy CEO for the National Petroleum Authority. He's a member of the NDC Communications team. Paul Anakwabna Bampamensa is Programs Manager, Team Lead Security Sector, Local and Urban Governance for CDD. And Dr. Dixon Adumakisi is one Member of Parliament for the people of Anyaso Tum. He's also a spokesperson for the Brian Champong campaign. My name is Lily Mohammed. I am back with more after this. Stay with me. On TV, and I am Mohammed. Let's talk about education and intra-country education. My guest this morning is inter-country, I beg your pardon, not intra. GHOne, he's Assistant Director, International Recruitment, GHOne Military Academy. Taylor Docking is Director, Advancement and Enrollment Management, Indian Spring School. And Corey Boy is Director, Boarding, Admissions and Recruiting, San Marcos Academy. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
What brings you to Ghana?
We work at boarding schools, boarding high schools in the U.S., and so we have students from all around the country and all around the world. And our international students add tremendously to the community, and we're all eager to enroll more Ghanaian students.
And why Ghana?
For us, it's a new market for us. We have had Ghanaian students for some time, but it's been all through word of mouth or through family legacies. And so we wanted to get the word out to other Ghanaian students because we had such a great experience with them at our school.
And pretty much the same as Corey. So we've had the last 5 years about 3 to 4 students from Ghana, and just keep growing that market, coming here and experiencing it for ourselves, and trying to build those relationships with students and families to see if we can keep growing, students from this part of Africa as well.
Everything education. Why everything education, and what would you be doing within the month of October?
Yeah, it's a wonderful educational consultancy that helps to place African students, and specifically students from Ghana and U.S. boarding schools. And so we're going to be visiting some schools while we're here, meeting with students and heads of school. But it's just a wonderful educational agency, trusted agency that we're excited to be working with.
You want to add something?
Absolutely. So for us, being new to the market, it was everything education was a kind of a foundation for us to be introduced into the market. And so they have done a great job of helping assist us with the culture and access to schools and, well, even the country. And so it's been a great experience.
Mark, what does GHOne Academy bring to Ghana?
Yes, ma'am. So we are a military academy. So we use the military framework to give our students structure and also discipline, to learn not only educational things, but just building a young man from the ground up. So we are an all-boys school. So, using that diversity on our campus with our international presence to not only help our domestic students, but to also give them a chance to grow in the U.S. educational system and make them more competitive for college admissions as well.
So are you getting students from Ghana to the academy? And then if they get into the academy, is it an automatic that they get into the U.S. academy, U.S. military?
So we definitely help them. We're always going to help a student do what he wants to do. So whether it's U.S. Colleges or universities, or going back overseas to the U.K., whatever it may be, we have a great college counseling department that helps them, get to that point and achieve their dreams educationally as well.
What of you, Corey?
So for us, we also have a great college matriculation. Over 100, or right at 100% of our students go to U.S. universities, and so that's a big part of who we are. We help them prepare for that process, and so it helps them to adjust both academically and culturally, in that way that they're far more successful once they get to that university.
Taylor?
Yes, so I think we have really strong faculty, rigorous academics. We're unique in that we're located in the southeastern portion of the United States. It's a big 350-acre campus, and the climate is warm all year round, allowing us to kind of weave those resources into our lessons all year round. And then we're known for a really strong music program and a ton of leadership opportunities and development. So I think strong, well-rounded, rigorous academics, though, is where I like to start.
How many students will have the opportunity to leave Ghana?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking for, as many strong students as possible from around the world. So we don't really have a cap in mind, but we'd be thrilled if we could enroll, 2 to 5 Ghanaian students to join our boarding community.
Do they necessarily have to be in schools or entrance schools? Already in boarding schools, or they are now enrolling in boarding schools?
I don't think, not necessarily. I mean, we have students who come to us from strong independent schools in the U.S.
Okay.
International schools. We also have students that come from public schools or even homeschooling who join the Indian Springs community and thrive. So if they're strong students and they have that desire to take on this opportunity, this adventure, and they're a good fit, it doesn't matter to us what their background is.
What is the criteria for you, Mac?
For us,
Corey, I beg your pardon.
for us, it's we're going to take a look at their transcripts. There's teacher recommendations that's required. We don't necessarily require any of their testing, although we will take a look at it unless they are applying for scholarship. We do offer scholarship monies, and then we would take a more in-depth look at their testing and their levels and abilities at that time. There is an interview that takes place, and typically either in person or remotely. And at that time, that's when we make a decision on. For us, it's a little bit different in that we want to make sure that the students are successful. And so we hope that we would have the proper resources to help them be successful. So it's not necessarily that they're applying to our school, making fit our mold. It's kind of the reverse, in that we're looking to see if we're going to be a good fit for that student to help them be successful.
If I am enrolled in a military academy in Ghana, is that a criteria that will enable me enter the Union Academy?
So we're kind of like Taylor. You know, if they have that military school background, that would be great, just because they're already used to a lot of things that we do day to day. But we're also looking for great students that want to study in the U.S. and just keep growing and getting used to that U.S. education.
Is there a particular GPA you're looking out for?
Not particular GPA. I will say that we do look at their transcripts, their testing, just to make sure that they're ready for that transition. We do a little differently academically. We take one subject at a time for 7 weeks. So I feel like it really helps our international students kind of not get thrown into 5 to 6 classes all at once, and they really do get to challenge themselves academically at Fork Union, and more of an immersive learning style as well. So it is a little different from the military side and our academic side, but we do offer students, college dual enrollment classes, AP classes. That way they can challenge themselves through our one subject plan also.
And how do you measure whether or not you're doing well? You say that for 7 weeks they will take a particular course. How do you measure?
Yes, ma'am. So at the end of each course, they will receive a final exam. And basically, since we are studying one subject at a time, there's going to be a lot of quiz work each and every day just to retain that material and keep building them academically as well.
For you?
For us, it's obviously the college matriculation, but we also work on semester periods, and so each semester they would have a final exam, and obviously periodic assessments in between. And so that's how we would measure success. For us, if there are signs that the student may be struggling, then we have ample time to put in some checks and balances and give them the help they need so that they are successful.
For you, Taylor, how long are they going to stay there? And then from there, then what? Do they get to be absorbed by the U.S. system, or they come back to Ghana?
Yeah, so we start in 8th grade, so students can join us as young as 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
But we also have students that start in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade as well.
Okay.
And yeah, most of the international students that join us for any amount of time are planning to attend college in the U.S.
Okay.
And usually they're able to transition their F1 visa, if they need it, into the J1 visa that they'll need for college.
Okay. Is it individual based, or schools can sign up for this? Are you visiting when you visit these schools, are you looking out for individuals, or the schools will have to recommend?
Yeah, typically the schools will announce to their families that institutions like ours will be visiting.
Okay.
And typically any family is welcome to come and meet us and learn a little bit more. But then after we leave Ghana, typically heads of schools, teachers will also kind of handpick or say, hey, you'd be a great fit for Indian Springs, for San Marcos, etc. So.
Okay. And how long are you doing this exercise for?
Only about a few days. So we're here until October 8th. And then some of our colleagues are going to Lagos next, and then I'll be heading to Austria. So we do a lot of recruitment, throughout the world, just whether it's word of mouth about our schools or meeting with particular families, students, agents, just to help us recruit internationally as well.
And will the costs be borne by the various schools, or the families will have to bear the cost?
For us, it is a tuition-based school.
Okay.
And that, there is some financial responsibility with the F1 visa that is required. So we work with the families to help with that, to make sure that they're fully aware and understand the process. Not to mention, as I did before, we do offer the scholarship opportunities for the right students.
Okay. Any final thing you want to add?
Yeah, I was going to say, we offer financial aid. I think you all do as well, and scholarships. And so there usually is a cost attached, but we can get that cost down quite low for the right students. And yeah, we're just excited to enroll more, Ghanaian students.
I know you're excited about it, but there are also issues about immigration challenges in the U.S. Is that something that the various schools is assuring these students when they go into America that they'll be assured?
So we do try to help. We try to provide, obviously, the I-20, and then any documentation that may help assist them getting that F1 visa to come study in the United States as well.
Okay.
And then, like Taylor added, once they matriculate into college, transferring that F1 to J1, it is a pretty, I wouldn't say easy process, but an assurance process that they can matriculate into U.S. colleges. Has it been tough recently? Of course, but we try to navigate that and help our families get to the U.S. and be a part of our communities.
Okay. You wanted to?
Or I can probably speak for these guys too, but we go through a lot of training with the CVIS visa process. And we all have contacts with our reps on a regular basis that gives us most up-to-date information. And so we're able to do real time with the families and help them through. I personally had 100% success with visas this last school year.
Okay.
And so, that's not always an assurance, but it's certainly reassuring a little bit that they're still happening.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and we wish the students all the best, by the way. So that's Mark Schumann. He's Assistant Director, International Recruitment for Kenyan Military Academy. Corey Boyer is Director, Boarding, Admission and Recruiting San Marcos Academy. And Taylor Dorking is Director, Advancement and Enrollment Management, Indian Springs School. My name is Lily Mohammed. We are back shortly.